I'm Ryan Rabel, I'm the U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Texas. Thank you for coming. This week, 9 individuals, including well-known musical artists, kidnapped and robbed at gunpoint numerous victims at a music studio in Dallas, Texas. 8 of the 9 were arrested yesterday in Dallas, Memphis, and Nashville. These individuals who are charged and arrested include Lontrell Williams Jr., also known as Pooh Shiesty.
You know what's going on with me? Yeah, I ain't gonna tell nobody, not even the police. I don't believe in none of that shit. Only thing I believe in is don't tell the police. Soft ass. It's the only thing I believe in. I'ma smoke you.
Pooh Shiesty knows the new Gucci. He don't know the Gucci we know. If something like that did happen, it's just not smart. Even if you cannot, and you understand this, make somebody sign something under duress. If you did do this, let's say this happened.
Yeah.
Now Gucci got the power to put your ass on the shelf. Put you on the shelf.
Gucci Mane just can't catch a break. First, it was him getting thrown in jail and being cloned. Then his wife Keyshia was allegedly paid to be his handler. And just when he begins to get his life together, he gets kidnapped by Pooh Shiesty. The crazy thing is that Kanye actually tried warning Gucci that the industry was going to come at him like this, because that's exactly what they did to him when he also tried to get his life together. Hell, even Nicki Minaj tried warning us about what they were going to do to Gucci. But everyone called her crazy too. Fast forward to now, and everything they've been saying will happen is actually happening. And the worst part is that this isn't over. Apparently, the plan is to unalive Gucci and take his music catalog, and they ain't stopping till that happens. Okay, as you might already know by now, Gucci has been trending for all the wrong reasons after his former artist, Pooh Shiesty, kidnapped and robbed him at gunpoint. It turns out he wasn't happy with his contract, and after multiple failed conversations with Gucci to let him off, he took matters into his own hands. Mind you, Pooh literally just got out of prison last November. This man is on a whole probation right now, and part of the terms of the probation was for him not to possess a deadly weapon. He violated all that to do this BS. And the fact that his own senseless father joined him to do this, knowing good and well what he was doing was going to land him right back in prison, is crazy. Who needs enemies when you have a father like this? According to reports, Pooh arranged what was supposed to be a business meeting at a Dallas music studio to discuss the terms of his recording contract. 3 music industry professionals flew in for it: Gucci Mane, the label owner, and 2 associates identified in court docs only by initials. They thought it was going to be a normal sit-down. The whole time, it was actually an ambush. Anyway, once everyone was inside the studio, Pooh Shiesty and 8 co-conspirators surrounded the whole place, basically trapping them. Pooh pulled a black AK-style pistol from his bag, pointed it right at Gucci Mane, and forced him to sign paperwork releasing Pooh from his 2017 contract. One of Pooh's people, who has now been identified as Big 30, was fortunately dumb enough to film the signing on a cell phone. All this on his phone. So the police have literal video evidence. And even after all this, they robbed Gucci and everyone he was with in the room. They stole his wedding ring, watch, earrings, and cash. And from his crew, they stole their Rolex watches, jewelry, a Louis Vuitton bag, AirPods, wallets, cash, and other high-value items. One of the victims was even choked from behind until he was nearly unconscious. And remember the videos I mentioned earlier that Pooh's people took? Well, within just hours of the robbery happening, they were already posting them on social media. They were also caught on CCTV cameras, so, baby, the evidence is stacked up against them. They are not coming out of this. Now, all this happened back on January 10th, but the police didn't arrest until 1st April. Apparently, the FBI was working hand in hand with Gucci to put everything together before making an arrest. I bet Pooh Shiesty thought Gucci wouldn't snitch, but you need to remember, Gucci has almost lost his life before, so the last thing he's going to do is let anyone attack him like this without doing anything about it. Okay, so on April 1st, FBI agents raided Pooh Shiesty's house in Tennessee and arrested him, along with the 8 other people in sight. They later arrested 1 more suspect, including his father, Lontrell Williams Sr., and Big 30, on kidnapping and armed robbery charges. Now, as I said, when this happened, a lot of people had a lot to say. They said Gucci knew exactly what he was doing when he signed a gangster rapper, and then refused to give him the money he was owed. Sign gangster rappers, then cry when they do gangster stuff. Stop playing with people, because they were really ready to risk it all. I still feel like people gotta stop playing with people. They go sign these gangster rappers, then shocked when they play games with them, and things get gangster. But here's where things get shady. It's now being speculated that this attack from Pooh Shiesty wasn't just about the contract like they're making it seem. Apparently, some powerful people in the industry are also heavily involved, and they want Gucci dead. If you remember, there were allegations that they initially tried to get Gucci by cloning him, and then paying his wife Keyshia to keep him heavily drugged up all the time so they could control him. Now, if y'all remember, Gucci did about 2 years in prison and came home looking like a whole different person. And that right there is exactly where the clone allegations started. People began saying Gucci had actually been taken out while he was locked up, and that whoever walked out of those prison gates was just a government plant used to cover it up. Things got even more suspicious when he came home and married Keyshia, because from the outside looking in, she seemed to have taken complete control of his life, managing his social media, making sure he stays on his medication, the whole nine. It was giving handler's energy, and people clocked it immediately. And when Nicki Minaj recently went off on Keyshia after she brought her up in a Breakfast Club interview, she basically poured gasoline on those flames by hinting that Keyshia's whole role in Gucci's life is to keep him sedated and drain his bank account. Gucci wife has been trying to be me for years, been dying for the spotlight for years. She's there to keep Gucci sedated. But as I said, this conversation was happening long before Nicki jumped in. The fact that someone like her was also hinting at it just brought everything back to the surface. About a year ago, Gucci's ex, Mac Breezy, came out with some serious allegations, claiming Gucci was killed in prison and replaced. She said she saw him after he got out and something was immediately off. He just didn't feel like the same person she knew before he went in. And every time she tried to have a real conversation with him, Keyshia would get strangely protective, almost like she was trying to make sure Mac didn't spend enough time with him to figure out something was wrong.
Cause girl, you don't even know the real Gucci. Y'all think y'all know the real Gucci, y'all don't know the real Gucci. That nigga parading around out here, that ain't the real Gucci, man. That's not him. I don't know where the Gucci at, honestly. Like, last time I seen Gucci was at Patchwork Studio in 2010. Cole was there. Was Mojo there? Yeah, I think Mojo, Cold-Blooded. Like, that's the last time I saw Gucci in the flesh, but even that...
Mac came back and doubled down on everything, even dropping a whole song demanding the real Gucci's body be released. She was adamant that something wasn't adding up, and that Keyshia knew a lot more than she was letting on.
Free Gucci. Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. Free Gucci. You thinking what I'm thinking? Man, some ain't right. Gucci, is you in there? It's so blank twice. Is that your handler or your wife?
Gucci did eventually address the clone rumors himself, but honestly, it didn't do much to calm people down. In a way, I feel like I grew. I kind of morphed into a different person. Shedding some of my old ways, I can say I grew up. I love the person I was. I love the person I am, and I love the person I grew to be. I tried to lose weight. I tried to take care of myself, change my thinking, my environment, and the ones that weren't benefiting me. Yes, that's the transformation everybody's saying they can't believe, but I can believe it. And just when we thought this couldn't get any worse, Kanye stepped into the chat again amidst Gucci getting kidnapped, and he claims this is another attempt by the industry to get rid of Gucci. You see, a lot of people keep wondering why they would be targeting Gucci, but when you think of it, there is more than enough reason. Let's start with the fact that his name is literally Gucci, the same name of a multi-billion-dollar global brand. Even though Gucci the brand doesn't associate with Gucci Mane, his actions reflect badly on them since they both carry the same name, therefore making Gucci Mane a liability to them. Now, I'm not accusing Gucci the brand of having a hand in the multiple attempts against Gucci's life, but it's definitely worth looking into. And then there is the fact that he has a record label that is signing and profiting off black artists who would have usually been getting milked by these white-owned labels. That's millions of dollars going to the pocket of a black man instead of a white label, and they don't like it. And if you've noticed, the few black artists who own things in the industry eventually end up associating with these white executives, but Gucci Mane hasn't sold out. Look at Jay-Z. He was named in the Epstein files and has bad links to Harvey Weinstein. And then he convinced a bunch of black artists to use their influence and likeness to grow Tidal, claiming that it would be for the people. But guess what? He ended up selling it to the white men for $600 million. And according to Nicki, who was actually part of the black artists he convinced to invest in Tidal, she claims she didn't receive anything from that sale. Young Dolph, Nipsey Hussle, they all refused to bend, and look what happened to them. Girl, This is a dirty business, and Gucci signed his death note when he decided to be different. This is exactly why they wanted to clone Kanye too. No wonder he's now warning Gucci to be careful. If y'all remember, people even thought Kanye himself was almost cloned at some point. The last time Kanye tried not to conform to the industry, he was almost taken out. Kanye even posted a life-threatening message he received from celebrity fitness trainer Harley Pasternak, telling him that he was going to have him put in a facility against his will. The text read, "I'm going to help you in one of a couple ways. First, you and I sit down and have a loving and open conversation, but don't use cuss words, and everything that is discussed is based on facts, and not some crazy stuff that a dumb friend of yours told you or saw in a tweet. Second option, I have you institutionalized again, where they medicate the crap out of you, and you go back to zombie land forever. Playdates with the kids just won't be the same." If y'all remember, Britney revealed in court that her family intentionally filled her up with loads of lithium, which they later tried to use as proof that Britney was crazy. Well, Kanye claims they tried to push this same substance into him too.
And I would honestly like to sue my family, to be totally honest with you. I also would like to be able to share my story with the world and what they did to me, instead of it being a hush-hush secret to benefit all of them. I want to be able to be heard on what they did to me. By making me keep this in for so long is not good for my heart. I've been so angry and I cry every day. It concerns me. I'm told I'm not allowed to expose the people who did this to me. For my sanity, I need you, to the judge, to approve me, do an interview where I can be heard on what they did to me. And actually, I have the right to use my voice and take up for myself. My attorney says I can't, it's not good. I can't let the public know anything they did to me, and by not saying anything is saying it's okay. I don't know what I said here. It's not okay. I don't want to interview. I'd much rather just have an open call to you for the press to hear, which I didn't know today.
And is, look, they tried to medicate me. I was exhausted. They wrongly diagnosed me. And they when I asked them, how much lithium did you want to put me on exactly? It took them 4 days to answer because they were embarrassed about the amount, right? And I refused to take this, right? You understand that if I had taken the medication, I would not be here, and it would have been, he was deeply troubled. We miss him. We love his music, though.
Well, they would have Britney Spears you. I mean, look at
they would have Michael Jackson
or worse, yeah. So look at what they did. Look at what they did to Britney. When she went in, she was tired, she was exhausted, she was in a bad way. But 10 years of that medication wrecked her brain. You can see it now. You can see there's not much of her left.
Gucci really needs to be careful, because today they used Pooh Shiesty to get to him, but next time could be fatal. Anyway, people had their thoughts, like this person who said, Gucci is really lucky he walked away with his life. Memphis guys are different. Going from a 360 deal directly to a RICO charge is sinister work. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about Gucci Mane getting kidnapped by Pooh Shiesty? And do you really think that the allegations Kanye is making about them wanting to end Gucci's life are true? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other very messy video.